Hi guys, and welcome to this week's episode of In the Club presents At the Club. At the Club is the short form podcast where I try to talk to as many industry professionals pertaining to kids' activities as I possibly can. If you haven't done so, please do consider leaving a like on this video, subscribe to the page and ding that bell for notifications. At the Club is of course brought to you by Class for Kids.
Class for Kids is an industry-leading booking and management software designed for kids' activity clubs. We work with 250,000 monthly users around the world to help them save time on admin and organise their business. If you'd like to learn more, click on the link in the description below.
So on this week's episode of At the Club, we have Hope Mill Theatre School Principal and Outreach Manager Naomi Albans. Naomi speaks to me a little bit about the importance of developing soft skills in kids and how performing arts can help aid that. She also speaks to me a little bit about the career progression and the career opportunities that can happen through performing arts.
Hope Mill Theatre School was set up just on the back of the pandemic. The theatre itself transitioned into a charity just before the COVID. So then obviously we went into lockdown and couldn't do much. But the theatre school was set up and there was a real need for young people in the area to kind of access the arts, to access high quality training. So the theatre school was set up to kind of level the playing field, really. A lot of children are kind of priced out of theatre training. It's kind of seen as elitist and, only if you can afford for a million private lessons can you access those things later on. So the theatre school's kind of main ethos is that 50% of the places are fully funded and that the kids come and they don't need to pay for tap shoes, they don't need to pay for ballet shoes. They don't, all those barriers are broken down. If they're hungry, they get fed. So, that's the kind of main ethos, as well as high quality training. And the theatre is known for musical theatre. So that's our kind of, we do singing, dancing and acting. And the kids produce a full scale musical each year. So that's us, really.
That's excellent. So it really, it takes away those barriers of like sort of background, and it just gives them the chance to perform the acts. It gives them a chance to sing, dance, act, do what it is they want to do without any sort of pressures on top. That's fantastic. That's really nice. What are the key disciplines in a wee bit more detail? Sort of like class types and class structures. So what do they have at the theatre school? The sort of the key ones.
Yeah. So the core of the main school operates. They have three classes: singing, dancing, and acting, and they rotate around the disciplines in age groups. So it's 10:30 till 1:30 on a Saturday morning, and they rotate around those. We then do what's called ensemble, usually at the end of the session. That has two benefits. One is a practical one because we're a working theatre. So each Saturday, our main theatre space that the kids are in is used for performances. So we all come together at the end of the session. But also the idea is to really instill that kind of teamwork ethos within the students and the classes, that yes, you might be working with people your age, but you still need to be able to work with everyone as part of a team. They can learn harmonies in one class and put them together, things like that. And then we have lots of add-on classes. So they can do lambda, they can do private singing lessons, and then they can do what we call like advanced dance, which is the more kind of tap, ballet, jazz type things. And then there's lots of opportunities outside of Saturday to get involved with the wider life of the theatre, because the advantage of being a working theatre is there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's amazing. So just to kind of, you were talking in there, and we big advocates, and we like to really get it out there that any type of activity, like sporting, dance, gymnastics, performing arts, particularly because we're talking about this, but the development in soft skills in children and how important it would be for like it is for performing arts and developing those skills. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Mine kind of main thing about performing is you're not all going to be stars or the next, West End performer, and some might be, and that's fantastic. But every single person is going to have to do a job interview or an interview for a Saturday morning job or whatever. Everybody's going to need to present something for their GCSE English. Everyone's going to have to stand up in front of somebody and talk at some point in their career and life. And it's instilling those skills, that confidence, those teamwork and being able to work with people who you've never met and wouldn't necessarily come across in your day's life. But yeah, it's so important in the theatre because it's such a quick industry. That you're in a new team one week and then you're on to the next show and you're in a new team. So you need those skills. And they're so transferable to every job out there, personal skills, social
Yeah,
skills.
yeah, 100%. Just to kind of like to jump in the back of you were talking there, it's such a fast paced industry. How do you feel that the like the faculty, how do you guys like stay current with industry trends and like developments? Is that like a
Um,
big
yeah, absolutely. So I have like honestly the best team. They're fantastic at what they do. They're talented, but also just they are kind and generous to the young people, and it's so much about just encouraging them and their journeys, because being a kid is hard, really hard, especially in the modern world. Um, but then we also, again, we're a working theatre, so each performance we would have a workshop from the cast, we would have visiting professionals in, we have workshops from universities, from drama schools, those kind of things. So we're in the industry where there's people in and out of our building all the time who are there. Kids can come and do work experience for us, and they can work on one of our productions, and a lot of then gone on to other things. So it's really great because it's not just an isolated class on a Saturday. They're literally part of the life of the theatre. We all say it's the Hope Milton family, and they're like part of our family. So all the staff know the kids, the kids know the staff, and yeah, it's just that beautiful kind of relationship. They're in the building, they're seeing what theatre is really like.
yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. And see, just to kind of shine some light on your team and in your sort of like recruitment process, and like we find a lot of people say that enthusiasm trumps like sort of business savvy when it comes to teachers or anything. If somebody's got the enthusiasm and the passion for the role but they're not quite there with the business led or the kind of technical aspects, that's what it is you want to see, because all those other things you can learn, you can't learn enthusiasm. Do you find that when you're looking for guys to come and work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. You just get a feeling in an interview whether they're going to fit into the team, whether they've got the right ethos, because so much for we have a lot of young people whose daily life is really challenging, and that Saturday is their release. They get to do the thing that they love, but also we need to support them on those other levels. So it's finding those people who have those skills as well, that aren't just a fantastic dancer or actor or singer or whatever, and that fit into the team, and definitely finding younger members of staff who maybe are still training themselves at drama school or wherever, come into the experienced team and are able to learn from each other. And I've got a lot of staff who've been there since the beginning, but then some newer ones coming through who are able to, be supported by the team themselves. And that's definitely how I kind of started, was learning from other members of the team. And yeah, that's important as well, because it's not about training the kids; it's growing
Yeah,
together as a school and
yeah.
as the theatre.
Nice. So that shows like in a natural, it's like not even a forced sense of collaboration. You guys all working together. It just trickles down and shows the kids as well that working together and working collaboratively is much better thing. There's more positive results than just try to kind of go it alone. And that's it's really nice to hear, because we do hear that in performing arts a lot. That it's very much team. There's no I in team sort of thing, and it's everybody like lifting each other up to be the best as they collectively can be. And it's really nice to hear that kind of reaffirmed
Absolutely.
from guys like you.
Yeah, and we had auditions on Saturday for our next big school show, and we were talking to them about it's not always. You'd rather have a room full of people who can work as a team, who can get on with each other, who are lovely to be around, than, yes, it would be wonderful if they were all the best at the dancing and singing and acting, but those skills are just as important about being respectful and being, um, yeah, being being decent. How you would want to be treated are just as important, and those skills go into any job, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. And can you share a little bit of kind of insight on what career opportunities may become available just through performing arts, not necessarily being on the stage and being like the dancer, but as there's other avenues, because we spoken to like football guys who I did not even consider the career. Like some of them going to be coaches, they're going to be medical staff, they're going to work in the back office. It's just that the love for the initial thing branches out into something else, but it still kind of like comes full circle back to what they're passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many jobs in performing arts that you wouldn't necessarily have thought of. And my job as outreach manager is about, I feel like I trained as an actor. I'm using those skills every day to talk to people, to engage with people, to connect, um, to present ideas, to teach, all those kind of things. You've got the hospitality team, so vital to a theatre, but it's kind of a unique role that they've got to use those performance skills as well. You've got backstage teams, you've got dressers, you've got wig makers, you've got projection people. So if you're into, computers and graphics and all that kind of stuff, you've got box office people. There's finance. We've every avenue kind of is here within the theatre community, and to put on a show, the performance you see, on a Wednesday night, that has begun 3 years ago, probably in its journey, and the number of people that have been involved, solicitors, everything, in that 3 years until you get to see that one actor on stage is huge. So there's so many different jobs.
Yep. That's fantastic to hear, because it can like, you can get the fear sometimes of thinking, oh, if I'm not going to make it as an actor, I'll never be in performing arts, and that's absolute. As for any discipline, it's absolutely not the case, and it's just nice to kind of hear from your side as well as us. I mean, we can say it as much as we want, but we're not in that space. But for guys like you
Yeah.
who are in the trenches every day, to say no, there's room for everybody. There's a whole plethora of roles that can be filled. Doing
Absolutely. And I would say most of the management team, not all, but a large proportion of our management team started our lives once upon a time as an actor or at youth theatre or dancing or whatever, found the love, and then have slowly found our, like little jigsaw piece where we fit. And yeah, it's absolutely a bit of a journey, but it's so wonderful when you find your slot.
That's amazing. Well, that's pretty much all I've got to ask you. Is there anything you want to get out there? Anything you want to tell us where we can find your like social pages and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we're Hopeville Theatre School. You can find us on Instagram, it's called X now, isn't it? Not Twitter. I'm so old. And our website is hopevilletheatre.co.uk, and you can find us on the Community Hub tab.
Some incredible insights there, some incredible chat from Naomi from Hope Mill Theatre School. Thanks very much again for coming on the podcast and giving us your time. If you liked what you saw and you haven't done so, please hit that like button for the video, subscribe to the page, ding the bell for notifications, and I will see you on the next episode. Cheers.